Why do you give up things for Lent? There is no church or biblical precept commanding you to give up anything for Lent. What if I told you that Lent makes people less holy and alienates them further away from God? What if Lent, in a sense, sent more people to hell than most grave sins? Lent is when the devil sneaks up on you and lures you into this Pharisaical traditionalism unless you are prepared and know what you are doing for Lent and why you do for Lent. So a lot of us, right, we give up things for Lent. A lot of us do it arbitrarily and very randomly just because that's what you do for Lent, right? What is the end goal? What is the end to the means of giving stuff up, of sacrificing, namely prayer, fasting, and almsgiving? Why do we do those things? A lot of people don't really know why we do those things or why the church commands us to do certain penitential acts. So before I get into that, I want to tell you about some temptations that may come across your way when it comes to prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, or just trying to practice asceticism, right? Growing in holiness. So St. John of the Cross, right, in the Dark Night of the Soul and in the Ascent of the Mount of Carmel, talks about spiritual lust and spiritual gluttony, okay? What in the world is that? If you Googled it, you probably wouldn't even find it. You'd have to read St. John of the Cross or other mystics. But spiritual lust is an inordinate love and affection for spiritual experiences to the exclusion of loving God for the sake of loving God himself, right? So when you receive consolations, maybe they're tears at Mass, right? Or maybe it's some sort of affection or feeling that you have that God gives you during prayer, during meditation, whatever it is. There are tons of consolations that God can grace you with. However, if you focus solely on those consolations and do what you do to merely receive those consolations, and don't focus on God himself and growing in love for God and for neighbor, then you are going to succumb to the temptation of spiritual lust. Okay. And we need to be on guard for that because a lot of people, right, through their spiritual exercises and practices, they unwittingly and unknowingly don't realize that they are trying to get holy just for the sake of getting holy. And you might ask yourself, well, what's wrong with that? And we'll get to that in a second. But the other one is spiritual gluttony. Okay. Spiritual gluttony. And that is a vain gratification from spiritual exercises. So this is where pride comes in. So you're doing all these ascetical practices. You're fasting 3 times a week. You're giving this up. You're giving that up. You're praying, 14 hours a day, going to Mass, making holy hours, all this stuff, right? And you think at the end of the day, you self-examine and you're like, I am really holy. I am super holy. I am a saint. And, you don't tell anybody, but you just keep that to yourself. Well, that's a spiritual gluttony, okay? Where you're doing all these different things just for the sake of like a righteousness that's enclosed on itself, right? It's just you and your holiness. And really, you can be lured by delight and satisfaction in these religious practices, namely the asceticism, so prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, okay? So the devil, during the liturgical season of Lent, loves to try to instill in your mind a Pharisaical attitude and a Pharisaical disposition. What do I mean by that? Well, the Pharisees were infatuated with obeying the law to the nth degree and to be seen by others, where they thought they were holy and they wanted to show that holiness to others. Where in a sense, they became hypocrites, whitewashed tombs that didn't love others or give to the poor or, help their neighbor in true love. That's what this liturgical season can be a playground for the devil, right? Because a lot of people, not all people, but a lot of people go really hard in Lent. Okay. They go really hard in Lent. And I'm going to show you a couple things here on what they do or what they don't do and what's kind of ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you, stay around to the end because I'm going to tell you why we do what we do or what's the end goal for anything to do with asceticism, prayer, almsgiving, and fasting. Okay. All right. So this is from the Hallow app. What are the general ideas for Lenten sacrifice? Remember, what are you going to give up for Lent? I'm giving up Lent for Lent. Not really, but I could qualify that. So this is the Hallow app. And these are the recommendations for general ideas for Lenten sacrifices. Okay, pretty easy. Give up coffee. I don't drink coffee. I know a lot of you guys, that would be almost insane to do, right? Give up alcohol. I knew people that would give up getting drunk during Lent. So that's kind of funny. Give up certain social media sites. I think I'm going to do that. How about this? Sleep without a pillow. Wake up without hitting the snooze button. Shower without hot water. Only lukewarm water. Oh, come on. Anyone can do that. Try cold water. Keep the thermostat several degrees cooler. That could actually be a benefit to some of us. Park in the back of the parking lot and say a prayer as you walk to the grocery store. That's my favorite one. My wife used to do that for me. Here's the last one that I'm just like, what? Who wrote this last one? Abstain from reading gossip/rumor sites. Okay, you shouldn't just abstain from that. You should give that up altogether. You should never do that. Again, and if you have a struggle with that, I don't mean to be, harsh with you, but we abstain from things, not to ultimately give them up. Like we abstain from meat on Fridays in Lent and even outside of Lent, but that doesn't mean we don't just give it up. We go back to the meat. Well, here, abstain from reading gossip rumor sites. Yeah, like you shouldn't go back to those. So just give it up ultimately. All right, here is, okay, I have a problem with this one. Well, I don't have a problem, but so Exodus 90, right? A friend of mine, very good friend, who's super holy because of this, he's like, Eric, you should check out this Exodus 90 thing during Lent, or I think it would start in January, right? Like somewhere around January 1st and like end on Easter or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. And I looked at it initially and I was like, yeah, no. And it wasn't because like, oh, I can't do this or, oh, I don't want to do this or, oh, the discomfort and the suffering and the pain. No, it had nothing to do with that. Now, this is going to sound boastful and a little vain, but a lot of the things on this list, I was doing every day. Not everything, but a lot of these things. So it's just like, what? So let me go back to the screen here. So Exodus 90, right? There's nothing inherently wrong with this. There's nothing inherently wrong. Okay. And I'm going to get to the main point of this video of what is the end goal of all this stuff. If you have the end goal and it's right, it's chaste, it's holy, and it's not inordinate, then all of this stuff is good. Okay. So I'm just going to, prayer, they recommend a holy hour every day, make a morning offering, a nightly examine, read Exodus reading and reflection. Not that hard to do, right? Well, let's just go down to asceticism. This is where I think it gets kind of interesting, let's say. The first one says, get a full night's sleep. 8 hours is recommended. To me, that's like a consolation. That's not asceticism. Asceticism to me is like sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night on a rock pillow, a pillow made of stone. Like, okay, I try my hardest to get a full night's sleep, regardless of Exodus 90 or Lenten practices. Okay, take cold showers. I'm not going to lie. That's I don't know. That would seem impossible for me. So that's something I wasn't doing regularly. Exercise 3 times per week. I do that. Avoid unnecessary smartphone use. That is something I'm going to give up for Lent. Avoid unnecessary computer use. Yeah. Give up video games. I don't really play games. Who watches TV? Does that include like watching TikTok, YouTube shorts, Facebook reels? Yeah, it does. Okay, so that's something we could probably give up. Give up alcohol. No soda or sweet drinks. No snacking between meals. Tell me that's not hard. I don't care. I like maybe you are, I don't know, you have a condition or something, you don't really eat a lot, you don't snack. That's almost like I have to snack. No desserts or sweets. I could give that up. Listen only to music that lifts the soul to God. Sure, not a problem. No unnecessary purchases. No offense. I'm not misogynist. I'm not a misogynist. But do men do that? I don't. At least not that I know of. Fast on Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay, that one would be extremely hard for me, but I do have a condition. So, and then no meat on Wednesdays and Fridays. To me, that's not that hard. Okay. But here's the thing that was like I couldn't do right here. This is to me, this is what was like the X factor or whatever of canceling this out of my proposed desire or whatever. Okay, you got to check in every day. One of the men in your fraternity, check in every day. Okay, not a big deal. Here's the thing: weekly fraternity meeting. I don't have the time for that. No offense. Like I don't have the time for that. You know, every week you're going to meet with 4 to 6 men. How long? Where? You know what I'm saying? Who are these guys? Are they Pharisaical? Are they getting holy? Are they doing it for the right reason? I don't know. If you need help building up your brotherhood, check out the community tab in Exodus 90 app where you can see local fraternities near you, or you can join a remote fraternity on the app as well. Okay. That's pretty much it as far as like what you have to do in the Exodus 90. Now, why am I bringing all this up? Exodus 90 and the Hallow app and all that stuff. Okay. So the introduction was a little hyperbolic, a little. Everything I said was true in a sense. But why do we do what we do during Lent or just any type of penitential season or on Fridays or whatever, right? Why? Why do we do these? If it's not for the increase of love of neighbor, because the love of God, that's implicit, but if it's not for the increase of love for neighbor, this is all futile, useless, and vain. Seriously, I'm not kidding. All of it is in vain if it is not directed towards the end of growing in love of neighbor. So if you're thinking like, I'm going to get really holy, you know, but I still hate, you know, the dude that lives next to me or the church secretary or my coworker or my aunt or whatever, then yeah, you might as well just not do this. This will actually probably hurt you more than help you because you'll become more self-righteous in a Pharisaical sense, right? So St. Augustine said, everything a Christian does, everything in a Christian's life, right? I mean, everything. Prayer, corporal works of mercy, mass, confession, the sacraments, abstaining from meat, fasting, everything is ordered towards one thing, and that's love of God and neighbor. That's it. So if it doesn't help you increase in love of God and neighbor, then don't do it. Know yourself. Have self-knowledge. Be like, I don't think I could do that. Not only that, but I think it might increase some vanity, or I don't think it's going to help me grow in love of God and neighbor. Okay? So really prayerfully discern if you should even give up anything for Lent. You don't have to give up anything for Lent, right? Give up a Pharisaical attitude if you have one. I don't know. But just know, like, this is a means to an end. These are all means. These aren't ends in themselves. So like the Pharisees would make the law an end of it in itself, right? The law is a means to an end, guys, right? And everything else is a means to an end, to love of God, love of neighbor. Okay? Does that make sense? So yeah, what are you giving up for Lent? Comment. I want to know. I'm not telling you not to give anything up for Lent. I'm giving stuff up, okay? Like, for instance, I'll just be very candid and transparent with you. My phone, where's my phone? I should toss it in the river. My phone, why should I give up my phone or like certain apps and stuff on my phone? Just to become holier? No, because my phone takes away my time with my family. I am not as present to my wife and to my kids because of my phone. So I am not loving them as I should love them by being present to them. So giving up the apps on my phone Therefore, I'm being more present to them. I'm growing in love for them. So it's for them. It's not for me just to become holy and righteous, right? Okay. So yeah, comment below. Tell me what you're going to give up. Maybe you're not giving up anything. Whatever you do during Lent, don't give up watching The Catholic Christian. Are we good on that? Are we good on that? This is my job. Okay? This is my job. Is it a good one? I think it is. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful Lent. I hope we do grow in love of God and neighbor, all of us together, whatever we give up or don't give up. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Please consider becoming a member. 16 cents a month, you get access to a whole bunch of things. I'm your slave, basically. You get to tell me what to do. But yeah, praise be Jesus and Mary. Have a great Lent.
Guys, how are we doing? Did you hear that? I said 16 cents a month. 16 cents a month. I meant to say 16 cents a day. I'm so sorry about that. If you are considering becoming a member, I don't know. But Eusebius just gave up being ugly for Lent. Well, here's the thing, Eusebius. Are you going to abound in love for neighbor? I think you will, actually, because I think people will be attracted to you. Okay, you're married, but just a platonic attraction, right? And we'll give you more opportunities to love them by being handsome. Okay, what was confusing? Okay, tell me what was confusing. And we're here to help. Eusebius is here to help too. He's the man. So guys, what's funny is that video you just saw, that wasn't live. That was pre-recorded. I was actually going to just publish it, right? And not go live. But I'm like, you know what? It's Ash Wednesday. Let's go live. Let's suffer together, right? I don't know about you, but I'm lightheaded. I'm starving. But hey, we're in this together, right? Am I right or am I right? So yeah, do you guys have questions? Let's have some fun. So you're fasting and eating less, no alcohol. Okay. When you say no alcohol, does that mean like just all together, right? Just no moderation, no nothing, just boom, I'm just giving it all up, right? And then you'll come back to it. I mean, do you have a habit of drinking? Does it get out of hand? How does that work? Because a lot of people, they give up sins or vices for Lent. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but just make sure you don't return to those vices. I'm giving up eating in bed at night. Oh, what? You eat in bed at night? Like crumbs? No? Do you have a dustbuster while you eat? Like dustbuster in one hand, potato skins in another? What do you eat in your bed? That's interesting. Thanks for the transparency there. There we go. There's a good one. Visiting the Blessed Sacrament more. Yeah, a lot of us think of Lent as in the negative, like giving up something, like a negation, where really, because all fasting is an abstain and giving up, but really we should be looking on the positive. What are we doing? Are we praying more, and then we doing more almsgiving and stuff like that? I fall asleep with my food. No, I fall asleep with food all the time. My wife hates it. Oh, so are you like at a table with a sandwich in your hand and then you just nod off with the sandwich still in your hand, or what? Man, you're bringing food into the bed. You're bringing food into the bed, right? So your wife is allowing you to bring the food into the bed, but she's getting mad at you falling asleep, or just what? What's the Lent 40 thing? Is that what I pulled up? It's like Exodus 90, but just not as rigorous. Rigorous. Nice. The accidents. Yep. The booze is still there. I don't drink much anymore, but this can help me love my wife more, since I used to be a terrible drinker. You and me both, man. I used to drink way too much back in the day. Way too much. Converting to Catholicism helped tremendously for obvious reasons. But yeah, I've been sober I haven't had a drop of alcohol, at least, recreationally, for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years this June. Of course. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I thought that was a joke. If you are doing that, amen. Praise be Jesus and Mary. I am so sorry. I did not mean to laugh. A lot of people in here, we kind of joke about stuff like that, so I didn't mean to laugh. I apologize very, very much. But yes, I will pray for you to give that up for good, for sure. Absolutely. That's a good thing to give up, my man. Yes, you can ask about charity. What's up? Local Adam. How local are you? Oh, it was a joke. Oh, you punk. Not really. I don't care. So now I can laugh. See, for Lent, I'm giving up crystal meth, but I'm not giving up cocaine. Okay. I hope that doesn't scandalize anybody. But hey, one drug's better than two drugs, right? Man, you got me. Got him. Oh, gosh. Well, when it said giving up crystal meth for good, and just the for good threw me off. Like, yeah, it's been an addiction, so you're giving it up. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, dude, I just got pranked or punked or whatever you call it. Like that was nuts. That was so nuts, guys. Hey, all of you guys should give up your money for Lent and super chat me. Kidding, not kidding? I don't know. Got him. Eusebius, are you at work? Who's at work, guys? Who's at work? I want to know right now who is at work watching I gave up the ugliness of my face for Lent too. I got to give up this turkey neck for Lent. Eusebius, Easter, right? Easter Vigil, this will be gone. This will be gone. Feed that turkey neck. Would it count as almsgiving? Would what count as almsgiving? Oh, wait. Holy cow. Here we go. There's a homeless woman who will walk around the basilica on Sunday Mass asking for money. And every time I see her, I don't carry much cash to me. I offer to help her get food or a hot drink. Boom. That's what you do. Don't give her money. I've been in that position many times. Up in St. Paul, Minnesota, we have the National Shrine of St. Paul. A lot of homeless people. Do you got $5, $10? Nah, are you hungry or what? Let's go get a Jimmy John sandwich. I've done that. Okay, I'm not boasting. I'm just saying it's come up a lot of times and I've done it. Yes, it would count as almsgiving. Well, think about it this way, okay? Okay. You do not have to super chat me, okay? I will never manipulate anybody to into super chatting me, okay? But here's the thing. You are giving money to a channel that is called Catholic Christian, and all my content is on the Catholic Christian faith. So my number one goal here, again, this sounds very manipulative, but it's not. But my number one goal is to save souls. Do I do this to make money? Of course. I'm not going to lie. Well, what does that money go to? Crystal meth? No. It goes to feeding my family. You know what I mean? Don't. Now I feel bad. Don't anything. It was kind of a joke, but okay, part 2. But she always says, no, it's okay. I feel conflicted because I continue to offer help every Sunday Mass, but I feel like she's using the money for something else. I thought you didn't give her money. Don't feel bad about giving her money. Check this out, right? I picked up a homeless person, right, who used to be a drug addict while he was homeless. And so he would panhandle to get money, right? Well, I asked him, like, did you use it for drugs? He's like, well, yeah, but I didn't use it solely for drugs. I had to eat too. I had to do this and that, So when you give money, even to a drug addict, it will be allocated, not just to drugs, but to other things as well, if that makes you feel better. But let's see. I'm giving up Dwelling on the future, for example, figuring out whether I should graduate school, where I want to live, etc., drives my wife crazy. Hey, what's your name? I mean, I'm just saying, like, your handle's yeah, but if you could give me a name, you don't have to, but I hate calling you yeah, but. or just maybe call you YB or something. I don't know. Am I judging her because I'm thinking what she'll use the money for? I plan on talking to my priest as well. I'm new to the faith. Yeah, talk to your priest. I don't think so. I mean, there is such a thing as unjust suspicion, right? It's part of the eighth commandment, breaking the eighth commandment. I mean, if you're merely speculating at the possibilities of what she's using the money for without like a malicious ill will intent or whatever, I think you're okay. See, I think that's where we become a little scrupulous. Like, oh my gosh, what is she going to use the money for? Is it drugs? Am I enabling her? I think those are just thoughts that come in, those are just inclinations. But yeah, I wouldn't, I'm sorry, that's right. I don't give her money because of that. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Gift cards, be careful. I'm not saying you can't give a gift card to a homeless person. I'm not saying that. I have. But here where I live, right? It's frowned upon because they will barter the gift cards for cash to get drugs. Okay. So I'm not telling you you can't do it. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying be careful, be prudent, right? And don't just, I always say a prayer for the homeless people or for those who are on drugs. You can never go wrong with saying a prayer for them. Okay. If they have a sign, and they're hungry, be like, hey, can I take you to the Jimmy John's? And they'll be like, I hate Jimmy John's. Okay, let's get crystal meth. No, don't do that. Okay, that's bad. But you know what I'm saying. I'm being received into full communion with the church this Easter Vigil. Can giving up Protestantism count? Well, first of all, congratulations. Praise be God. That is awesome, Timothy. Let's all say Hail Mary for Timothy. Thanks be to God. Yes, giving up Protestantism definitely counts. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Whatever you give up, that leads you to an increase of charity. So yeah. Timothy, can I ask you what led you to Catholicism? Dro, let's go, baby. Super manipulated. I got $5 for my crystal meth fund. Gosh, will I get flagged or demonetized for that? I should be careful. But thank you. I appreciate that, Dro. Double S. Is that like your super sport car? What car is that? What kind of car is that? Is that a Pinto? Just kidding. Yes, McChicken and crystal meth fun. I'm giving up manipulation for Lent. I haven't had a McChicken in years. I remember back when they had the dollar menu, the real dollar menu, you could get a McDouble. Actually, they called it they had the double cheeseburger back then. So they had 2 patties and 2 slices of cheese for $1. And then you can get a McChicken for $1. Dude, you could get lunch and get full off of $2 at McDonald's, a McChicken and McDouble. But I would always get the buffalo sauce for the McChicken. Guys, if you ever get the McChicken, get the buffalo sauce to dip it in. And maybe a little ranch too. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. That equals barter cards. Yeah, gift cards. Hey, Retro, my man, how we doing? How's Ohio feeling? How's the weather up in Ohio, huh? It's windy as all get out down here. It's too windy here. So you see, I don't have to fast today because there's too much wind. 07 Monte Carlo SS. Do you got Nas in that? Are you too fast, too furious with that thing or what? Hold on. Listening to James White lose debates to Catholics over and over started hard. No way. So like we've all seen the typical like James White made me Catholic. Does that really happen? I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not speculating that you're being not 100% honest, but wow. James White really converts people. Unbelievable. Yeah, Pinto. A super sport Pinto on hydraulics. I'd lay my life down for a McChicken with extra mayo right now. Extra mayo, really? Okay, now that you said it, dude, I remember would have to take the bun off and take like 3/4 of that mayo off. And you get extra mayo? So you have a mayo sandwich with chicken. Oh man, dude. I wonder how much, dude. I wonder how much Hellmann's you have in your cupboards or fridge. I hate eggs this morning. Or I had eggs this morning and now I'm grazing on sunflower seeds. That sounds rigorous, man. Sunflower seeds? So basically you've had no carbs today. You've got to be like on an IV. James Wright really is one of the better Catholic apologists. He should go on Catholic Answers. He should be their senior apologist. I will add you to my prayers and your son to my novena. I'm praying for my sick family member. Sorry to hear that. Okay, so we got ex Jehovah's Witness Laura, and then we got Jesus not Jehovah's Witness. Is there a connection there? Oh, it's dead in the shop. Sorry. I'd come in if I was by you. I'd play. You allow the customers to play games, right? I really appreciate your insight, or the insight, sorry. Your content has really helped me in becoming Catholic. I continue to pray to God that will use me and also bring my wife to faith. Thank you, local Adam. So I don't know if we've talked before. Is your wife the one that is Jehovah's Witness? I could be wrong. I'm so sorry if I'm wrong. So sorry if I'm wrong. And she's very like adamant on not, or she's very anti-Catholic. I don't know if you're the one that I talked to, but I was Baptist all my life till then. All right. Congrats coming home. Yeah, dude, Scott Hahn. Who doesn't Scott Hahn help convert, right? So in my conversion, I had a friend that was going through RCIA. It was called RCIA back then. And I was just on the fringes, I was just kind of tiptoeing and kind of playing with it. And he gave me, so the books, he has a ton of books. He gave me talks, like MP3 talks. Do we still have MP3s today? I don't know. And were they on a CD or something? But of Scott Hahn. And dude, everything the dude said was just like, how come I haven't been Catholic my whole life? So Scott Hahn, right? He writes a lot of books. Tell me in the chat, I think he is a way better speaker than he is a writer. And that's not to like undermine his writing abilities, but oh my gosh, dude, the guy is such a good speaker and just so, yeah, he just converts you with the look. Extra mayo on my McChicken. I am speed running the Eric Turkey Neck fashion. Dude, okay. This is Ash Wednesday, not Easter Vigil. Okay, take it easy on the extra mayo. Hey, Blanky Mall, thank you. What's in your avatar picture there? I can't see. Clima para hoy. Is it? Oh, it's Spanish. ¿Cómo estás ustedes? Thank you so much. Hail Mary coming your way. Scott Hahn is great. Yes, he is. He's the man. Thank you, Timothy. Appreciate it. I found your comment right now, and I love it. All right. Hey, Brian, I recognize your name. Welcome. Brian, what were you before Catholic? My husband always says he's giving up monogamy because he likes it so much. Oh, gosh. Dude, that is like the most paradoxical, ironic, kind of almost borderline. Yeah, I don't know. But it's funny. It's funny. We've talked a little. I've sent a few chats. She is a baptized witness. Takes it very seriously. Her family are all witnesses. Okay, sorry. I don't bombard her. You got to see this. Yep. Just be yourself. Love her as a husband. Witnessing, right? I'm writing a whole paper right now. I'm in graduate school. I'm writing a whole paper on evangelization, right? And if you know anything about Pope Francis, he's so against proselytism. And proselytism basically is like coercion, manipulation, persuasion, all that stuff, right? Just with words, rhetoric, rhetoric, rhetoric. And evangelization is really witnessing by the life you live, a life of holiness, right? Patience, being a good husband. That's what will get your wife to convert, right? And if she doesn't, don't worry about it. Just pray for her. How many Gen X Catholics here? I'm the only one who remembers CCD. Oh, yeah, I'm a little younger. I know CCD on Wednesdays, right? So we have that now. It's called PSR, but yeah, I remember CCD back in the day. But hey, Father. Well, hello, y'all. Just dropping in for a minute to make sure Lent doesn't send me to hell. Well, I don't know, Father. Are you becoming Pharisaical in your spiritual exercises? Are you wearing long robes? And are you extending the, what is it, the phylacteries? Oh, I can't pronounce that word. Phylacteries? You know, the box on the arms where they would have the, the law or the Ten Commandments in them or something? Daily mass, make sure to pray for her, and I'll leave it in his hand. Exactly. There you go. Amen. Keep doing that. Charles, can I call you Chuck? Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'll call you Charles. Good to see you. Are you named after St. Charles of Borromeo? That'd be pretty cool. No, not on Wednesdays. Oh, really? Okay. I must have been drinking back then. I know this, cat. Peace of Christ to everywhere. Happy Lent season to everyone. En el nombre de Cristo. Right? In the name of Christ. My Spanish is Ya no puedo caminar la cucaracha. La cucaracha. Timothy, my boy, thank you so much. Hail Mary coming your way. Amen. Thank you. Looks like I'm getting caught up on my chats here too. I went to CCD on Wednesdays. Yeah, that's what I thought it was, but my family never took me to mass on Sundays. That is bizarre. Like, I'm not trying to rip on your family, but maybe they felt guilty by not taking you to mass. Like, oh, we'll take them to CCD, or maybe they're just misinformed. I don't know. That's okay. Hey, Retro Man, now your catechesis is now. I'm not saying just with me or whatever, but just let's go. Just all around the YouTube world or whatever. Yeah, Father Brown's the man. I love me some Jesuits. Bronin, where have I seen you before? Yeah, picture. Did you make a comment on one of my videos recently? I've seen your picture. Who's that in your picture? Let me guess. He's writing with a feather. I should know this. It's not Saint Benedict. Who is that? Ronan, you got to tell me, man. I'll go Saint Benedict, but yeah. Okay, I was a rolling stone. Daddy was a rolling stone. Oh, one day he never came home. Grew up poor and went to church with whomever in the neighborhood went to church. So I went to all manner churches, Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran. Okay, Brian, what was your favorite Protestant denomination when you were growing up? When you went to all those different denominations, what was your favorite one? I know what one mine would be, but you know, Saint Jerome. Si amigo. Yes, all of our wasted years. Exactly. You know what Saint Augustine always said, and what I say? Late have I loved you. That's my only regret. People will come up to me. What's your biggest regret? Not loving God back in the day when I was living a life of dissipation. My CCD wasn't on Wednesdays. Yes, and no what? And yes, no mass generally after a certain age. No mass. Oh, for you, or what do you mean? Oh, you were on my live, Saint Jerome. I should have known that was Saint Jerome. I always think of Saint Jerome as that one picture painting of him with the skull, and he's wearing barely anything, and he looks like he just got off of a 4-day meth binge. You know what I mean? And he's like bald, like right here, but he's yeah. We love St. Jerome. You grew up Jehovah's Witness. Are you Catholic now, or what are you now, Richard? Welcome to the channel. George Washington with an AK. All right. Yeah, buddy. I love seeing these avatars. What do you call them? The picture? Yeah, the avatars or whatever. Yeah. Wait, I missed something. Dude, Guillermo just gifted 10 Catholic Christian memberships. Woo! Who's a member, guys? Who's a member? Check your wallets. You could be a member. A VIP exclusive member. We drink Cristal in the back room. Thank you, Guillermo. You're so super nice. What would I do without you, Guillermo? I am not just saying this, but I like the Lutheran one better. They were nice, welcoming, even though I was a stranger. I always felt like I was a part of their family. That's what I grew up as, a confessional Lutheran. Got to be careful on which synods, though. Some synods are a little more abrasive than others. But yeah, great. Welcome, new members. Guys, the channel's growing. Wonderful. I have that on my living room wall. Oh, the one I was talking about? The crystal meth St. Jerome? That's a good one, though. Catholic since 2018. Awesome. From what? And do you own an AK? Are you patriotic? Anyone see the president's address to Congress last night? That was entertainment. My family didn't take us to mass after certain age. Oh, okay, I gotcha. So they took you to mass, and then you got older, and then they stopped taking you to mass. That's unfortunate. Well, yeah, a lot of people grow cold, lukewarm in the faith, right? But gosh, I know parents that do grow cold and lukewarm, but they will still go to mass just for the sake of their children, right? Because I mean, it's their children. It's not about them, really. Lutheran or Latter-day Saints. Yeah, some Latter-day Saints. I remember some Latter-day Saints came to my door, and this is just when I converted to Catholicism. And I was dialoguing with them, but I was trying to evangelize. So I would question them on the canonicity of the Bible and the Book of Mormon and stuff. It was kind of fun. And then they offered to and I think I said oh God, I got to go do these dishes. Sorry, to get rid of them. And they're like, oh no, we'll come in. We'll do your dishes. I wish, I wish I had 10 piles or stacks of dishes, that have crusted on food for the last 2 weeks. That would have been great. I've decided to give up work this Lent. Gotta tell my boss. Oh, I'm so glad I'm having this stream. I'm so glad. Oh, man. I bet, what? Hey, it's for a religious purpose. So just like, if you're Muslim, you get those breaks to pray, 5 times a day towards Mecca? So you're at work. You got to go pray on your rug. And your boss can't, do anything about that. And likewise with you, you've given up work for this Lent. Now, is it a paid week off, or is it unpaid? That's what we've got to know. Buffalo Bills. I've been to Buffalo. I'm just going to bite my tongue on that city, but hey, Buffalo, Lake Erie, let's do it. Yo, that address seemed more like a WWE intro to me, LOL. Oh, that address. Yeah, that was, regardless of politics or where you stand, is not Donald Trump entertaining? I could just forget about the politics, forget about all the ideologies, forget about the divisions, forget about everything. Just forget about it and just watch it, from an unbiased, impartial perspective. And it's just pure entertainment. It's pure entertainment. Anyways, but yeah. Well, our chat's getting a little dwindled here, guys. So, yeah, I grew up hardcore Southern Baptist. We went to church every time the doors were open, and even did some preaching. Wait, like you being a layman, like other people, like non-ministerial or non-ministers did preaching? See, it's interesting you said that the doors were always open, because in my experience, Protestant denomination communions, their doors were only open on Sundays or sometimes Wednesdays in Lent and Advent. But I mean, they didn't have the Blessed Sacrament. Why would they keep their doors open? I mean, nobody goes into I'm just saying, I'm not saying nobody, but in my experience, nobody went into the church and prayed. It was just a building in a sense. So yeah, it's cool now because Catholic churches, depending on where you live, some of them will be open 24/7, doors unlocked. These days, not so much because of obvious reasons, but they'll have a code for you to get in there and do adoration and stuff. But for real, husband's work had a little Mardi Gras party yesterday. I asked him if they had a priest coming for an ash service for today. That's great. Oh my gosh, yeah. Mardi Gras party. I wonder if they I wonder what they had to eat and drink. They didn't have booze at work, did they? I mean, was it like no one was tossing beads? I hope not. But yeah, let's get that priest in there and absolve them of all their licentiousness. How do you feel about attending a Latin Mass as a new convert? It all depends on your disposition, on the intent. Why are you going to a Latin Mass? There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with going to a Latin Mass. It's a beautiful thing to do. See, it's interesting. I don't think being a new convert has anything to do with it. My thing is, okay, I think you got to be prepared, right? Because it's starkly different than the Novus Ordo, right? I mean, if we're talking about the TLM, okay, you can do the Novus Ordo in Latin if you really wanted to, but when I was a new convert, I wasn't attracted to the TLM only because of this. It was in Latin. I don't know Latin. So it's like, here's the thing, right? A lot of people go to TLM and they don't know a lick of Latin. Maybe they know like the Agnus Dei and Kyrie eleison, whatever. So basically what they're doing is they're an observer. They're going to the TLM to observe. So they're sitting there and they're praying their 4 rosaries or whatever while the priest does his thing. I needed active participation, liturgical active participation. I wanted to know every single thing that was going on at Mass, every element and norm of the liturgy. I didn't want to be just sitting there like, what's going on? I'm an observer. I would feel like a Protestant then. You know what I'm saying? So those who do know what's going on at the TLM and are going for the right reason, amen. Amen. Beautiful. Wonderful. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I know a lot of people, they turn the TLM into an ideology, and it's no bueno. No bueno. I guess those prayer breaks can work. I get those since I work at a church. Ha! Also, Buffalo is great in certain areas. Okay, so I went through maybe some rougher areas, but this is why I usually travel north and south of the city where everything is. Yeah, I drove through Buffalo and I'm like, I think I drove through the industrial part, but there were houses and stuff, and I'm just like, But hey, Buffalo Bills, Buffalo wings, weren't they invented in Buffalo? Right? We all love buffalo wings. Should we be talking about that during Lent? Yes, sir. I am biased, but my advice is simply to not attend a Latin Mass. It's a mess. Yep, I don't disagree with you, but just as long as you know what you're doing, your intent, and if you don't want to feel like an observer, because that's what I felt like. I meant to say we had services several times a week, at least 3. Oh, nice. That's cool. That's kind of rare in Protestantism, as far as I know. High Anglicanism, I don't know. I can't say for sure, but yeah. The fact that I can attend daily Mass and go to a 24-hour ordination chapel is, yeah, absolutely. Yes, right? Jesus doesn't take a time out in Catholicism. Our relationship with Christ doesn't take a time out. It's not just a Sunday relationship. It's 24/7. You know, the sacrifice of the Mass is offered 24/7 all over the world. Right. Amen. Well said, local Adam. Polo down. I can't fast straight up. I just eat a lot less, very little, no meat. Absolutely. Here's the thing about fasting. You guys want to talk a little bit about fasting? So the precept of the church is not requires, well, let me choose my words carefully. It is a precept. It's an ordinance of the church for us to fast, insofar as what that means is one normal sized full meal and then two smaller ones that don't equal a full meal. Well, what does that even mean? I mean, are we counting our calories? Is it portions? Obviously it's portion, right? Forget about all the pedantics and all that stuff, right? Here's my thing. If you feel hunger pains throughout the day, but even if it's intermittent, maybe once, twice, 3 times a day during today, yeah, you're good. Okay. But then don't go and binge eat, like, oh, I felt a few hunger pains. Well, now I'm going to go eat, 5 pizzas or something. But yeah, don't be scrupulous about it. Just as long as you're making an effort and it's ordered towards love, you're good. Oh, to more cake. Yeah. Can we stop talking about cake on Ash Wednesday? I'm about to go to Mass. This morning, I was ready to give up Catholicism ideations. Ate breakfast and lunch. Did not go to 8 a.m. Mass. What do you mean by Catholic? Catholicism ideations. What do you mean by that, Charles? You're going to have to help me. I've been studying Latin to do the TLM, and all the books I've been reading so far for the first few times, just watch and appreciate it so you don't get lost in the sauce. Lost in the sauce. Man, you guys are coming at me with some good chats. Lost in the sauce. Yeah, that was my thing. Like, I didn't know Latin. People would always ask me, oh, do you like the TLM? Or do you go to the TLM? I'm just like, I don't know Latin. Why would I go to a Spanish Mass? Oh, because it's in Spanish and it's reverent? You know what I mean? Doesn't make sense. My wife and I don't know Latin. After 6 months, she can now do the Credo in Latin. That's awesome. It's easy to pick up. My in-laws just the house right next door. They have 9 kids and they say the whole rosary in Latin on, is it Sundays? I think it's Sundays. Because, Pope Benedict exhorted the faithful to pray in Latin as much as we can, or all that good stuff. Saturday Mass does not meet your requirement for Sunday attendance, does it? Yes, of course it. Okay, what Saturday Mass are you talking about? If you're talking about like the daily Saturday Mass in the morning, no. Okay, I go to Mass daily. I go to the Saturday 8 a.m., right? The vigil, right, of Saturday, as long as it's past, someone help me on this. It's got to be at least 4. It's either 3 or 4 p.m. If it's 4 p.m. and passed on a Saturday night, you fulfilled your Sunday Mass obligation. But no, the Saturday morning one does not count. Vatican II reforms were meant to get people to participate, not tambourines, but understand and pay attention. Yeah, so like my wife, right? She likes the TLM. She would choose the TLM over the Novus Ordo because of the liturgical abuses or the misuse or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I don't know, because it's like, are there TLM abuses or misuses? Probably not. I don't know. But a lot of the things in the Novus Ordo, like you bring up the music, the instruments can be Christianized or liturgicized, if that's even a word, right? So I get it. I would rather not have tambourines or even guitars. I would rather not, okay? Even the piano, I would rather have an organ, a straight up like chant organ, right? But remember, you can take those things and use them for worship if they're not done in an inordinate way. Ooh, I'm getting fried in the head. Yes, it does. It's been 1 day without wings. I need them. I want them. Please let this day go by fast. So are the buffalo wings in Buffalo really that good or what? The church has 2 Sunday nights. Yeah. Well, do you guys, okay, so I'm not 100% on this, so don't quote me on this, okay? Okay, this is not gospel stuff. The Jewish Sabbath started when? Friday night, sundown, right? So I don't know if that's a continuity or just a coincidence that we have. Okay, we don't have the Sabbath, we have the Lord's Day, and our Lord's Day, right, is Sunday, but I don't think it starts necessarily Saturday night. I think it does because of, going back to our Jewish roots of the Friday sundown, like the Saturday sundown, sort of, in a way. I don't know. I could be off on that, but how about this? Here's a question for you guys. Do you give up your Lenten fasts on Sunday, or do you go straight from Ash Wednesday through Good Friday? There's a question. I'm going to go to the Latin Mass at St. Michael's Abbey once I get this new job. Oh, are you going to move because of your new job or what? Idea of becoming Catholic? Oh, Charles, you're not Catholic? Or what's going on? What's your situation? It has to be evening Mass. Yeah, it can't be in the morning. Do you do streams where I could call in and talk to you or ask you questions? Always a tough to pull them. Absolutely. Here. Man, I'm getting really hungry. Am I caught up on chats? Yes, I am. Okay, that's what I need to know. There are not many less than ideal choices. Okay. Local Adam, I will put the link in the description. So when you go below where it describes the video, it probably has like, join, become a member, whatever. I'll put the link for you to come in. Okay. Just give me a second though, because I gotta. Man, I am hungry. Are you guys hungry? Holy cow. Hold on a second. Are we live? Yeah, we're live. Hold on a second. Go to the description. Happy Lent, Gina. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, I know what I got to do. Good to see you, Gina. Gina, where are you? Are you in Georgia? I want to say you're in Georgia. I don't think you are, though. I don't think you are. All right, buddy. Local Adam, hold on. It's coming up your way. I'll even put your name in here. Adam, : link, save. There it is, buddy. Come on in. We'll party. Even though it's Lent. It'll be a Lent party. Lent party. Texas. God bless Texas. Everything's huge in Texas. Everything's so huge in Texas. Hey, Gina, do you know where Marble Falls, Texas is? If you do, we have a little bit of similarity. Yeehaw. Texas is dope. I'm not going to lie. You know where Marble Falls is? My grandmother and grandfather, my maternal grandparents, that was their retirement home, Marble Falls. And so when I was 6 years old, so that would have been 1989, I went there. We drove from Minnesota to Marble Falls, Texas. And it was a delight. It was a delight. All right. Let's see, my wife, hold on, Adam, just a second. My wife and I are waiting on an annulment. We went through RCIA last year. Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah. So I've been in that situation. That can be very strenuous. So I'll say a little prayer for you, Charles. Definitely. Marble Falls. All right. We're going to bring Adam in, a local Adam. He's the man. Adam, you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you perfectly. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm doing super good. Super good. Happy
All right.
Lent. So a little nervous. Sorry, a lot of people watching.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. You're good, man. We're all good.
So yeah, the one thing I kind of wanted to ask you a little bit more on about the Latin Mass, and you did sum it up the way I guess I thought you would sum it up, in the sense where obviously I don't know Latin. I don't speak Latin, but I feel I guess that's the problem. The feeling that I have attached to the Latin Mass, or like attending the Latin Mass, and again, it might be a lot nicer because I get to attend Latin Mass in like a really big, beautiful, like stone cathedral basilica.
Mm,
But attending the Latin Mass feels really good. A lot of
mm,
incense. The chanting is in Latin. It gets that. It hits kind of like that stomach of like, oh, this is it. This is the church in the history. But I did recognize what you had said, because I felt that way too. Where, oh man, am I attending this because it feels cool, and am I not attending the the a couple hours later, the High Mass, the Novus Ordo High Mass, because it's not in Latin? And I've started to attend the High Mass a lot more, because it is in English. I obviously I'm still learning my Catholic calisthenics, where I have to stand up and sit at certain points. But I is it wrong to attend the Latin Mass because it feels
um,
more holy, I guess? Is that wrong to say?
well, what kind of experiences are you having at the Latin Mass? Is it like emotional? Is it spiritual consolations? You know what I mean? Does it just
Um,
make you feel
I
good? Is it
guess,
mental or
yeah. I would say, I guess I would say emotional, because I don't know what you mean by spiritual consolations. Could you explain that a little bit to me?
yeah, so spiritual consolations is like it's almost like an extraordinary grace, not quite, but where it's not I mean, you're going to get emotional and psychological value and benefits from them. So for instance, like I was saying in the video that I was playing, a lot of people through meditation or just going to mass, they'll get
Hmm.
what's called the gift of tears. And it's a very spiritual, but also emotional experience where they feel very intimate and close to God. And what you have to be careful about that is the devil will use that and try to like turn it against you and invert it in a way where you're just focusing on the consolations and not worshiping God or God himself, because our faith teaches us that we should really love God just for the sake of loving him and not for any benefits or consolations that he gives us.
Okay, so that it's really okay. So that actually makes a lot of sense. So before I was discerning Catholicism, I attended a local Greek Orthodox church, and I did feel exactly what you just said, where like the emotional, it was just super overwhelming, especially when they were singing the prayers back and forth, and that was super nice.
Can I
But
interrupt you? I don't like
yeah,
interrupting people, but what do you mean by like super nice and overwhelming? Like what, just emotionally or
there was just I felt, obviously I knew no one there. I was brand new. I was just me, basically. Like I there was a room full of people. I felt I was brought to tears. Like it almost felt like my stomach, like my whole body got really warm. I couldn't hold back the tears. And as someone, obviously this is not to be vulgar, but
Mhm.
I, as a man, sober, there's no tears. You don't, I was raised that way. You don't cry, no, nothing like that. So this was very weird. Um, but when I went to, there was something I thought about it later, and there's some things about that service that didn't really, I just didn't understand, or it didn't sit right with me. Um, but then I went to a Latin mass, and I felt the same way.
Mhm.
I had that same experience. Um, and I don't know, because I didn't have that exact experience at the Norvus Ordo High Mass. I got worried that maybe that experience wasn't just like, it wasn't, the Holy Spirit showing me something or moving me. It was just, oh, did I like this, or did I feel this way because it's something different, or it's so old, and maybe that hit me, where I was like, oh, this is this is beautiful. And now I don't know whether or not, like, okay, do I go to Latin Mass for that because it's what it made me feel, but I don't know what they're saying. Like, I got a daily Roman Missal,
Mm-hmm.
and it has the Latin and just the English on each side. But I feel like I would spend the majority of the time trying to figure out where I am and like keeping up, as opposed to going there for reverence, for prayer. It's I'm there to be close to God. Granted, I can't partake in the sacraments. I can't, I go up and I cross my arms. I'm not baptized yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sorry, super long-winded.
No, that's okay. So, so this might sound a little weird, but so you're not baptized yet. So to
Yeah,
me, I mean, you can still worship, you can still participate in most of the liturgy aside from, communing with Holy
right.
Communion. So it's like, in that sense, but I was going to say, so those are spiritual consolations that you're receiving. I mean, I'm sorry, there's no way around it.
Mhm.
You're at a mass and you're feeling that way and you're experiencing that emotionally, psychologically. That's a consolation. Now, consolation is a beautiful thing and it's from God, it's not from the devil. But like I was saying before, the devil will try to use it against you. And so a lot of people, they'll get caught up in them and they'll, focus on the consolation and seek out the consolation rather than God himself. So like, for instance, you might get this idea that the TLM, since you get these spiritual consolations, is a better liturgy objectively than the Novus Ordo because of your personal experience. And therefore, you're actually undermining not the liturgy, but really the sacrifice of the Mass, because that the Mass is the Mass regardless of
Right,
the
right.
liturgy. And so
Yeah.
you really got to be careful about that. But if you have the right disposition, the right attitude, you know exactly like how to control that, then the consolations, then yeah, go to the TLM. It's no big deal. But here's my best advice I will give you. So are you planning on being baptized at Easter or when?
Yeah, I don't. I spoke to my sponsor and my local priest. I Because I was a little late, where it's going to be Easter really soon. Um, my priest recommended that I wait until next year or next Easter to be baptized.
Mhm.
Just because he felt like it would be a wrong to kind of rush me through everything.
Yeah.
Even though, like, we sat and talked for hours, he's like, you've discerned. I like your actions in your life has shown that yes, this is what you want. But he still wants me to take it slow and not just rush through and join an RCIA group that, hey, it's really great to meet you guys. We're gonna get baptized in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's super cool.
Right. Well, what I was gonna say is, I mean, you could get one now, but maybe wait till after you're fully received or whatever. But um, is look for a good spiritual director, and a spiritual director is usually a religious or a clergy. So
Okay.
not a layman. Yeah, I mean, some people, I guess, some laity do spiritual direction. I don't recommend it, but um yeah, I would really seek out, but you got to seek out a good one. So not just at random. And so it might take some time, might take some patience, and kind of going to different churches and different things. But
Okay.
a good spiritual director will help you in all these matters. And like, I'm a layman, so I don't consider myself a spiritual
Yeah. Right.
director. I can just give you, you know, anecdotal, experiential advice, that I've had or whatever, and
Yeah.
leave it at that. But I think a spiritual director would benefit you for sure.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's like if we went to like Scott Hahn, he's gonna have some wonderful answers, but at the end of the day, he'll probably be like, "Hey, you should talk to like your priest."
Right. Yeah. I mean, they just do. They have they have the sacrament of holy orders, and they have different charisms than laity do. It's just, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially when it comes to virtue, vice, and just anything to do with moral theology and stuff, you definitely want someone that's in that area, like a religious or I personally, I would recommend a religious priest, but it doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah, right.
you can have any kind of priest or whatever, but yeah, just there's a lot of people in the chat. There is nothing wrong with going to the TLM as long as you're doing it for the right reason. Just as long as you know, like, because we all have preferences. That's not the big deal. As long as you know that the sacrifice of the mass is exactly the same at a Novus Ordo as it is at a TLM, then you're probably good. But
right.
as soon
I
as
think
there's like a I would almost say like a cultish group
1,000,000%.
like stay away from that, and you'll know, like, it's just fair. It's just traditionalism, Pharisaical traditionalism.
It was that. It's super funny you brought that up. I went through just an extra like a, I don't want to call it like an extracurricular program. It was more so just like a program, and one of the people leading the program was Catholic, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, sweet. Like I'm gonna separate myself at the end. I'm gonna talk to this guy. I'm gonna have some questions for him, and he was like, oh yeah, are you religious? And I was like, oh well, kinda, but I don't know. I don't really have a denomination. Like I'm not going anywhere. But my wife is a Jehovah's Witness.
Mhm.
A lovely woman. She's amazing. Like really brought me closer to God. All this and all that. And his immediate was, oh well, she's a heretic. She's in a cult. She's doing this. And I was like, oh well, okay, all right, chill. We just met. All right, I don't know you like that.
That's what I would have said. Chill,
Yeah.
dude, we just met, bro. What's going on?
And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he may feel that way. Maybe he just came off a little strong. And his next question was, well, are you like discerning Catholicism? Like, have you thought about becoming Catholic? And I was like, yeah, like I've looked into it a little bit. I've watched a bunch of debates and a bunch of talks on YouTube, but I've never gone to a mass or anything like that. And he goes, well, be careful because the Pope is a heretic. So you got to be real careful about where you go, and don't listen to anyone who says this. And like, I don't think I comprehended it at first. And I was like, oh, wow, that's weird. I never expected someone to say that. And then I I got online and I was like, oh, wait a minute. You don't get to say that. Like, that's not you don't, as a layman, like, the Pope's a heretic. And then I discovered what Sedevacantist was. And I
Oh
was like, oh,
gosh.
okay. Yeah, okay, bet. I totally understand now.
You know what the bigger problem is we have non-sedevacantists, non-SSPX. So Catholics like me and the other people in this chat that do think that. And it's just like, so we actually have, and again, I don't like throwing these words around, but we actually have like Protestants at heart within the Catholic Church. Like at heart.
Yeah.
Like they're baptized, confirmed Catholic, they go to mass, all that stuff. But as soon as you in your heart distance yourself in such a way that you're dissenting from the magisterium and the Pope, it's like you're really not Catholic. I hope you realize that, but
right,
don't.
And it was funny because to loop it kind of all back to the difference between, oh, should I attend like a Latin mass, or is it okay to prefer that versus the other? I don't remember if it was Joe Heschmeyer or Trent Horn, but he had come out with a video that was basically like, hey, don't dogmatize the mass.
Yes. Who said that?
I don't remember. Yeah, you'd have to ask chat. Like, I don't remember if it was Trent Horn or I don't remember if it was Trent Horn or Joe Heschmeyer, but in one of his videos, and that really hit home. That was okay, thank you. Like, it's not attending a certain mass isn't a dogma. Now, if they changed up like, oh, like the Eucharist isn't like the blood and body of Christ, then okay, we're changing some stuff. But when I heard that, it was like, oh, okay, I need to realize that there's a whole different, and that's what actually led me to reading through the whole catechism. And that was like the first thing I did was
Good.
like, if it's, and man, reading through the catechism changed how I thought about Catholicism even more so than what I already had thought, because
Nice.
it made me realize, oh, I had some preconceived notions about Catholicism only from my experience of them online.
Yep.
And it's goes directly against the catechism.
Yep. So someone's asking, what does it mean to don't dogmatize the mass? So I would say don't dogmatize the liturgy. But yeah, I mean, potato, it means the same
Yeah.
thing. Basically, so here's my experience. This is what I say, that there are people, I don't know if more or less they're unwittingly doing this, not on purpose, but they're worshiping the liturgy and not God. It's like
Right.
they put so much emphasis and focus on the TLM, the liturgical elements and norms, that it's almost like they're worshiping the liturgy. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? It's like, and that's that's not good. That's not good at all, but
Yeah, that was the super weird thing when you like notice when someone is like, "Oh, don't attend." And unfortunately I had a buddy that was that way, where he was like, "Oh, you can only attend the Latin mass. You know, everything outside of the Latin mass isn't tradition. You got to do this." And that's not the way it is. What you're doing is like, are you going to the Latin mass because it's the Latin mass,
right,
or are
exactly.
you going for like the Eucharist? Are you going for liturgical? And I'm trying to remember the correct terminology, so forgive me.
Oh, dude, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. We're all whatever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? None of us we're all in the same boat to heaven. Like, so it's just,
right.
yeah.
I have a so I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit. I noticed you said you came from Lutheranism, right?
Yeah.
Is it in Lutheranism, and I know Anglicanism is a little different because there are certain I don't know if they have rights, but I know there are certain sections of Anglicanism that are in communion with Rome. Am I wrong in saying that?
So this is, I think, so again, this is not my area of expertise,
Yeah.
but I'll give it my best shot, because I will actually get people in my comment section that say they're Anglo-Catholic or Anglo-Saxon
Yeah. Yeah.
Catholics, and um, but they will admit, they will claim that they're Catholic, and then I'll say, "Are you in communion with the Bishop of Rome or the Pope?" You know what I mean? And they'll say,
Yeah.
"Well, no, we're not." And I'm just like, "Okay, you're not Catholic." Now,
Right.
now here's the thing. Now there's a thing called the Anglican Ordinate, or the Ordinary, where Anglicans converting to Catholicism can still maintain some liturgical norms and some prayers, some Anglican prayers and stuff like that, and even priests. So, priests, I mean, well, they're not priests like our priests, right? They're
Yeah.
okay, but
They're
they're
not
still called,
apostolic succession priests.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. They're still called priests or Anglican priests. Well, most of them are married because, yeah,
Yeah.
anyways. Well, if they convert to Catholicism, and they're married, they can be ordained as a Latin rite priest and still be married. So we have, in the West, in the Latin rite, we have married priests. And I'm not talking about the East, the Eastern
Yep.
Catholics. The Eastern Catholics, obviously, but in the West, in the Roman Catholic Church, we have married priests. Well, I would say 90% of them are converts from the Anglican
Right.
Church. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know too. I don't know it's the Byzantine rite, but they also, if you're married before you become ordained,
Yes.
you can stay married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you're ordained, yeah. If you're single, right, and you
Yeah.
get ordained and you're a priest and you're still single, yeah, you can't get married because it's kind of backwards. But I'm pretty sure Anglicans are not in communion with us, but
I would have to check. Yeah, I have to look it up because I don't remember. I could be completely incorrect.
I'm 100% sure Anglicans are not in communion with us.
Okay. Okay. I
Otherwise,
will.
it would be Anglicans. They're part of the Church of
That's true.
England.
Yeah.
They'd be the part
Yeah.
of the Church of England.
Yep.
But there's called the Anglican ordinate or the ordinary, where like if I don't know if you guys know Scholastic Answers, Christian Wagner, he's a convert from Anglicanism, and he can still pray the Anglican, what is it, the Common Book of Prayer or whatever, and then so I mean but yeah, Anglicans are Anglicans, they're not Catholics.
Yeah.
We shouldn't really, there's no confusion there. I don't know, but yeah.
What was the hardest part about your conversion, if you don't mind me asking?
There was only one thing that was hard. So everything fell into place. Everything was like divine. Everything made sense. It was just like no impediments, no confusion, no nothing. So I went through RCIA, and on the last, I think it was either the second to last or last class, my RCIA instructor told us that the book of Genesis, especially the creation account, is not supposed to be taken literally, but allegorically. Therefore, it's not necessarily a 6-day, 24-hour period creation. And I was like, no, what?
Yeah.
This is not, because we were indoctrinated to really, I mean, if you read Genesis, it says the first day, then
the second day.
Well, no, not even that, but it says there was morning, then there was evening. So it's
right.
Like, that's a 24-hour day. I'm sorry, there's no way around it. But then once you really, really dig into the literary genre and how the sun wasn't created till the fourth day and all that, then it's like, okay, all right, we're good. But yeah, that blew my mind. I was like, my whole reality was like turned upside down. But yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
I'm trying to think.
You don't feel compelled. I mean,
No, I know.
Yeah.
I could just. I'm off work now, so it's all good. So I can.
Oh,
my
okay.
wife's out there with the baby.
Yeah, Sharon Davidson said we had 2 married priests in Steubenville. Sharon, you're in Ohio, huh? Are you neighbors with Dr. Scott Hahn? Matt Fradd was in Ohio or Steubenville, and then I think he moved to Florida.
Yeah, he just recently moved to Florida. He just built his new studio.
So I'm on a Discord server. Oh, all you guys should join that, by the way. You don't have to. Don't feel compelled to. But anyways, I'm on a Discord server, another one. And the dude that hooked up his whole audio in his studio is on that Discord server.
Really?
Yeah.
That's got to be super cool. Some of his interviews are super, super good.
Yeah.
The debate that they just recently had with, what was his name? It was Orthodoxy versus.
Oh, Erica Barra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super good.
Yeah, I caught glimpses of that. Apparently, I think it's Ubi Petrus. He's an Orthodox, and apparently he was this like incognito, inconspicuous dude that no one knew what his face was and all this, and then
100% anon on the internet.
Yeah. James the Hermit, hello, blessed Lent. Hey, late is fine. You know what I'm saying? Okay, youth minister. After their orders were declared null and void, yes, I remember that. Some Anglicans got ordained by Dutch Old Catholic bishops and do have valid orders called Dutch Touch. Father Robinson and Dr. Taylor Marshall included? What do you mean about Dr. Taylor Marshall? What do you mean there? I don't understand I got to look into that. So wasn't it in the late 19th century? It's called the AE. What is that? No, hold on. What's it called? I used to know it right off the top. What was that bowl called? hold on here. Apostolicae Curiae on the nullity of Anglican orders. I was right, in the 19th century. Whoa, that's crazy. Okay, so Dr. Marshall, so I know he's a convert. I honestly didn't know he was a convert from Anglicanism. So you're saying that, okay, so after their orders were declared null and void, some Anglicans got ordained by Dutch Old Catholic bishops. Okay, so here's my question for you, youth minister. I'm all in. I'm all in, man. I'm with you. I'm not denying any of this. So here's my question. Dutch Old Catholic bishops, right? Regardless if it's illicit or licit, doesn't matter, because if they are ordained, they are ordained. So you're telling me they ordained Anglican converts or Anglicans? And I guess maybe it doesn't really necessarily mean. So was the rite valid? Because you said after their orders were declared null and void.
Right, because if they ordain them afterwards, then it goes one generation and then it ends with them, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
Because that's the argument for Lutheranism is, well, he was technically ordained, and that's great, but then after that, they lose all of it.
So my question is about this Dutch Old Catholic bishop. I've never heard of that. So that's my question right there. So if they're legitimate, valid bishops, right, and their ordination, the rite of ordination is at least valid, regardless of it being licit or not, right? That's my question, because it doesn't really matter if, okay, Anglican or Anglican convert priests or whatever, is the ordination valid? Because remember, the AC, or the Apostolicae, or whatever, Curia, declared him null and void, making that if these bishops, right, don't have the valid order or the right of valid orders, then how could they be validly ordained, those priests? I think I'm confusing myself, but I should share my screen. I have here. Check this out. I'll pull it up. I have it right here. Where'd it go? Oh, it's on my other here. Hold on. Let's figure this out, boys and girls. We got a little bit of time left. What is it? 4:30 on the central. Okay, paragraph 12. That's where I just randomly went. So let me share my screen here. Okay, right here. John Eldridge, who's that? Boy, can anybody even read that? Can anyone see that? I'm with you, youth minister. I'm with you. Valid but illicit. I'm totally with you. But here, do I have to, here, let me zoom in my screen here. Gosh, it's already at 150. Oh, that doesn't even help you guys.
Especially if you view it on a phone.
Oh, I'm not on a phone, but yeah, I don't.
Oh no, I mean like for your.
Oh yeah, the viewers.
Yeah, thankfully I've got 5 monitors in front of me, so I'm okay. But
holy cow, 5?
Yeah, I work from home.
Wow, it's a lot of monitors. I have 2. 5's a little much. All right, check this out. Again, I have read this once, but gosh, so long ago, I don't remember anything of it. Okay, but who's those bishops not validly and lawfully ordained? Gosh, this reads like Old English. Had been made sufficiently clear by the foregoing documents and the faculties used in the said matter by the legate. Those, namely, who have been promoted to the episcopate as others to other orders, not according to the custom form of the church. See, not according to the custom form of the church. That's my question. Because if they're not, old Dutch Catholic bishops, how are they ordaining them? That's what I want to know. Are they ordaining them in the legitimate rite of ordination? Because that's how the Anglicans lost their episcopate or the orders of episcopate or whatever is because they changed the rite. So basically, they were just making faux priests and other bishops, and that's why they were declared null and void. But where's Norwich? Is that? Do you guys know where Norwich is? Is that Greenland? Where is that?
It's a city in England.
Okay. For to obtain orders means the same by act null and void. It is invalid.
Oh, Norwich is a cathedral city and district of the county of Norfolk in England.
Interesting. Okay. Gosh, I got to go back to this. Youth minister, you caught me off guard with this. I got to look into this. Okay. After their orders were declared null and void. Okay, I get that. Some Anglicans got ordained. Okay. Are you talking about, so youth minister, can you, the Dutch touch? Okay, let's just Google the Dutch touch. This is crazy to me. I've never heard of this. Is this like a rabbit hole conspiracy theory? The Dutch touch. The Dutch touch, that sounds like the Dutch oven almost.
Do people even know what that is anymore?
Probably not. Oh man, I'm getting a lot of weird stuff here on the Dutch touch.
I was gonna say you might want to be careful what you type in.
I don't know about this, youth minister. You're gonna have to substantiate all this stuff. You're throwing me for a rabbit hole loop. The W is silent, so it's Norwich. The C is silent. Oh, you gave me the link. My bad, dude. My bad. You don't, no exclamation point necessary. I've been doing like 100 things at once. Wait, where's the link? I don't see it. Oh, you're gonna have to apologize. Where's the link? I don't see it. The Dutch touch. Taylor no. So you don't even have to say, if this is true, what you just said, you don't even have to say he has the indelible mark. He is a priest that could say mass if what you're saying is true. Dr. Taylor Marshall, if he had the proper form and matter, right? He could say mass and consecrate. Okay, but where's the link? I don't know. This sounds weird. I don't know. I got to research it more. I'm not saying you're wrong, youth minister. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I got my guard up. You heard this from Dr. Taylor Marshall. Okay. So this is all I'm going to say. And this isn't a rip on anybody. I'm not trying to undermine Taylor Marshall. He could be right for all I know. I don't know. But don't believe everything you hear. You got to research this, man. You have got to research this. It could be true. I don't know. It just sounded fishy to me. And then when you say Dr. Taylor Marshall has the indelible mark of a priest, making him a priest, that sounds fishy to me. But anyways, I hope that doesn't come off as abrasive. I just, yeah. Anyways, what's for supper, everybody? Ash Wednesday, no meat. What are we all having?
I think my wife's just making some basic pasta.
That works.
Yeah, pasta and some salad.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people during Lent, they'll have these at churches. They'll have these fish fries to, for fellowship and community and whatever. Like after a mass or whatever. Well, some of these fish fries I've been to, man, because the whole point of like Fridays in Lent is for penance. It's a penitential act, to give up and to not feast. Well, some of these fish fries, have so much food, and like one of them had a keg of beer, and I'm just like, dude, we're in Lent, okay? Like a fish fry is one thing, but to have like a 7-course meal, like I don't know, they probably had caviar and crab legs, and like, dude, just because you can have fish doesn't mean you should have lobster tail and wine and all this other extravagant, delicate. Yeah,
Right. We have to remember that it's, or at least for me, again, I'm not even baptized, so don't take my word for what it is, but it's for remembrance and sacrifice. It's not like I gotta have a crazy big meal.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So what's with the is fish okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know
So it's, I know someone gave me a hard time about this. Like, wait, you're saying meat. Well, doesn't
that.
fish
Right.
have meat or whatever? And it's like, it's a different kind of meat. Basically, it comes down to land meat. The flesh is different.
Right. Because it's
Yeah. So it has to go back to like the flesh of our Lord being pierced and hung up on the cross, and kind of in that sort of sacrificial commemoration. But holy cow, James, where are you at? 10:30. Hold on. No, I'm going to guess. 10:30. What is that? So you're 6 hours ahead of me. You're going to be in Europe, not France. I'm saying I'm going to go Portugal. Portugal / Spain. Spain?
I'll say England.
That's a good. You're probably right. Actually, I forgot about England.
Only because he corrected the.
Oh yeah,
He
dude.
corrected how to say Norwich, so I was like,
man.
okay.
Oh, you had your big meal at 2 p.m. See, I gotta wait till supper, because even after supper, I get hungry. I'll be laying in bed and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I really shouldn't.
Liverpool, England.
Dude, nice.
I was right on the money.
Hey, someone send local Adam a little super chat. I'll make sure he gets it, because he just guessed where James the Hermit. Yeah, I mean, I should have caught on to that.
Also, any questions? I'm free.
I'm sorry, your background, you were Jehovah's Witness or you weren't?
No, so my wife is.
Right, I know
I
that.
was up until Catholicism. I was like super. I'm only. Wow, I was gonna say I'm only 30, but like even saying that out loud sounds crazy because I feel wicked old now already at 30. I wasn't really raised religious at all. Went to church a couple times, but nothing more than that, right? It was just like a weird, okay, sure, we'll go to church. Fell super hard into the like YouTube new atheism movement.
Yeah.
And then after that, like after high school, got into like philosophy and all of that. And then just decided like, okay, perfect. I'm just gonna be agnostic. Whatever. I don't know what's going on. My wife though is Jehovah's Witness for
Yeah,
sure.
I knew that. Yeah.
Yep. Super like was raised a Jehovah's Witness. Super about it. Definitely takes it seriously, and I don't mean that in like I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but I wouldn't consider her like a like Sunday Christian where it's just like I'm only Christian on Sundays. She like lives it. And then so because of that, I was introduced to that. I attended a little bit. Obviously I would go with her to her meetings. And I had a couple Bible studies and it just didn't do it. I had some questions that didn't make sense. And then after that, I knew God was real. Like I was just, okay, perfect. God is real. What do you want me to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? And just prayed a bunch, discerned a bunch, listened to a lot of debates. That's where I come from. So just debates on debates. And at the end of it, I really came to like, okay, everything comes back to Catholicism. Why is that? History, even I live in Maine, so
Nice. I've been there.
yeah. Maine originally was super Catholic, and I didn't realize that. A lot of the hospitals around here, a lot of you know, school buildings, a lot of charities, a lot of that is in Maine. We got a lot of it from the French Canadians because they came. I mean, it's on the border. I mean, it's the only state that we can go south into Canada. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll look into Catholicism. And lo and behold, got a rosary in my hand as we speak.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
yeah. So
Oh,
here I am.
yeah, it's good that you were, your heart and mind were open and you were searching and not just complacent or whatever. So, I mean, that's a huge grace. Huge.
Yeah, I think the big thing too was I feel really bad because I feel like a lot of the people that I grew up with that were cradle Catholics, I don't I don't know if they were properly like taught the faith, or like you believe just to believe because you are Catholic. It's almost like a nationality as
Right,
opposed to like
right.
a belief system.
Cultural Catholic, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm glad like I have that at least. But I think it's super important that you actually learn like why are you Catholic? Like why do we believe this? Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's great, man. Can't wait for you to get baptized. That's awesome.
same.
Yeah, I've been to Maine. Let's see, my wife and I, well, we weren't married at the time, so it was probably a little imprudent, but nonetheless, we went on a road trip and we probably hit, gosh, 14, 15 states on our way to Maine. And then we
Yep.
camped in Maine and it was beautiful. We had, I can't tell you what the name of the place was, but we had fresh lobster and shrimp.
Yep.
And so, I was looking forward to a lobster tail in Maine. And I'm not going to lie to you. The shrimp was better. The shrimp was the most amazing shrimp I've ever had.
Yeah. Next time if you do come up, definitely recommend the clams or scallops. Lobster is like one of those things where everyone knows Maine for their lobster. So it's become one of those foods that it's like, oh, it's just lobster. And it sounds really funny to say that because like there's a lot of states that lobster is like an absolute delicacy. It's like the main staple of like a fancy dinner. But almost everyone you know up here has like an uncle or a cousin that's a lobster fisherman. So it's like it's not super crazy, but yeah, the shrimp up here is super good. The clams super good. In general seafood up here amazing. Super good.
Yeah, Maine's one of my favorite states.
Yeah, super calm, super peaceful. We got hit hard by COVID though.
Okay.
Because everyone in the United States also has that view of Maine. So they all got remote jobs and then moved to Maine. And it ruined our housing. And shot prices up real bad. But
yeah. Guys, I have, I think, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Billy just came in. 2 minutes, guys. I could eat a horse, like a whole horse. What's a sleeping dog? So we had a live stream, gosh, a few weeks ago. Oh, the topic was, are we allowed or is it permissible to smoke marijuana recreationally as a
Yeah.
Catholic? And then it turned into this heated debate about yoga.
how?
Well, you're looking at it right there if you can see the screen.
I can, yeah.
That's how, or I don't know how it started, but
that's a tough one, right? Because obviously I don't want to start the whole debate all over again, but if it alters, I was gonna say if it alters it, it's wrong because we're allowed to drink wine.
right.
We're allowed. It's not like alcohol is banned, but
Right.
being a drunkard is banned.
Right, exactly.
So the hard part is like with marijuana, are you using it, I guess, for medical purposes
So
versus
that was the asterisk. So the whole debate or the whole topic was like recreational use, not medicinal. So like obviously it's licit if it's for medical purposes.
I don't know if it would be, and this is just me. I mean, obviously this is just me. I am not an authority. So if you come back and say, well, local Adam said this, I promise you, no one's gonna take your word. I don't, because it alters your state of mind so quickly that I don't, it almost feels like it is immediately making you a drunkard.
Yeah, that's the whole, that was my whole argument, is because like if you take alcohol for instance, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time it'll take it metabolizes a little slower than say THC, a hit of THC,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. And so you can drink in moderation, but with marijuana, I've asked people, I know people who take gummies or smoke or whatever, and it's like, I'm like, is it possible not to get high? And they basically say like, well, if you have just really bad marijuana.
Right.
The
Right.
thing is nobody is ingesting a THC gummy or hitting off a water bong to get tipsy or like whatever. They're there to get high. Or
Right. No one sits down at a dinner table with a bong and says, "Oh, this is my dinner snack or my glass of wine." You know what I mean?
my dinner bong. Oh gosh. God, I've had some great laughs today, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, people. I just okay, so yeah, Jackie, I absolutely agree. Edibles, you're not taking an edible not to get high. So
Right.
there was an apologist, I won't even hint at who it was because I'm not into that, but was basically like, yeah, it's fine if you don't get high. And I'm just like, no, I don't think you've smoked weed before, or like I don't mean
Yeah.
to be patronizing, but it's like, you're not, dude. No one's puffing a joint to get like, I don't know what, a tipsy, like a glass of wine. Like,
Right.
to me, that doesn't make sense. I know tolerance plays into it, metabolism and all that, but it's just, yeah. Holy cow, Jackie, are you like, you know your stuff about?
She's a professor on it.
Holy cow! I hope you're not high on Ash Wednesday. I'm just kidding. All right, but guys, I really have to get going. I gotta go.
Yeah. Hey, man. Thank you for letting me come on. I
Oh,
really do appreciate it.
you're
Love your
very,
content. So
yeah. You're very welcome. You're very welcome anytime. I just, oh gosh. Okay, guys, enough drugs. It's Ash Wednesday. Let's stay on our game, huh? But yeah, local Adam, I'll say a prayer for you, man. And
I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.
oh my gosh, now we got people coming in. Okay, yoga is not inherently evil. It's not. It's ridiculous. I do yoga positions in my sleep. Come on, let's stop with that.
You should talk to your priest about that. If you're doing yoga, listen.
Well, here's the thing, like if you're how many people are going to do yoga thinking they're like, oh yeah, I'm worshiping a Hindu or Eastern deity. Like if you're doing it out of ignorance, you know what I mean? You're not culpable of anything. But medicinal stretching. Here we go. We got some good comments coming on just when I'm leaving. Ooh, is that a syllogism there? Could be a little non sequitur. See, I get hooked on these live streams and these chats.
See, the problem is though, is it when you stretch, can you separate stretching from the practice of yoga?
Well, what do you mean the practice of yoga? What does that mean? Well, okay, so my local YMCA has yoga and I see a bunch of ladies in there.
Yeah.
Funny, no dudes are in there, but anyways.
Crazy, right?
I just lost my train of thought, but oh yeah, so Well, what's the goal? Like, who's going in there for some diabolical end goal? You know, I don't know. They're going in there to for some form of stretching and exercise. They're not
Yeah.
going in there to mimic, Shiva or whatever. I don't know.
It's the difference between maybe like you would say going to a yoga studio at your local YMCA versus going to a yoga temple or a Hindu temple to practice yoga.
Yeah. Colin, you're kind of right. So if you're talking about just something intrinsically evil like you did, then yeah, but we're talking about culpability. Okay. And yeah, you do need intent for culpability. Okay. Yeah.
You got some wild chats coming in.
Yeah. What, guys? What is this? Are you texting me? Colin, is that a horse in your picture? Okay, so Colin, if a young girl doesn't know abortion is evil, but she's told it's the best thing for her, she doesn't ruin her life. If she gets an abortion, she participates in an evil act. Let me reread that. Okay, so a little apples to oranges because the natural law comes in, and for a young girl not knowing abortion is evil, again, I know the mitigation and I know there's certain factors psychologically, right, that could play into that, not knowing it's inherently evil. And if she's told it's the best thing for her, then yeah, like that's a bit of manipulation. If she gets an abortion, she participates in an evil act, fine. But the culpability or the guilt is mitigated because of all those factors you just mentioned. How about yoga while seal clubbing? Who are these people? Guys, please, I don't know if you're not subscribed to my channel, that's a mortal sin, because I need you in my on my channel in my live streams. Okay. James the Hermit. If you're not subscribed, subscribe.
It's a mortal sin. You'll have to confess that next time you get communion.
Colin Newbold. Is that a horse?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a horse. Yeah. I'm giving up clubbing seals for Lent. How about you guys?
Good on you. Proud of you.
Thank
Must
you.
take a whole lot to do that.
Yeah, it took a lot of prayer. There is usually philosophy. Seal clubbing is fine, like beating seals. What if medicinal seal clubbing? Retro. We're just gonna call you medicinal retro. All right, I gotta go.
Yeah, listen, it was wonderful being on here. Thank you, my friend.
Oh, it was a
Can't
pleasure.
wait to
Thank
see
you.
your upcoming content.
Yeah, thanks for watching, man, and thanks for.
Yeah, man, of course.
I mean, you and the others make everything possible for me. Like, I'm so indebted and grateful so much. Like, I'm always cognizant of that, like of all. I mean, these are real people,
Right? It's crazy.
It's funny because I see on the chat or the comments, like they're just comments, they're just chat. No, these are actual human beings,
Yeah,
lives, and and they're giving their time to me, and I'm just like, okay, but yeah, it's great. So
no, I know how much it takes to produce content. So
yeah,
greatly appreciate what you do, man. I do.
all right, thanks. And your name's Adam, right?
Yeah, just Adam. Yeah, local Adam. It's either that or Okie Dokie. But listen, local Adam's a lot easier.
Oh, you want me to call you local Adam and not Adam?
No, you can just call me Adam. Don't call me local. Yeah,
I was
just
gonna say, like,
Adam is perfectly fine.
the local Adam sounds.
We're both adults here.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, brother. Well, hey, take it easy.
You too.
Yeah, definitely pray for me. I appreciate it.
Of course, you bet.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Everybody else, have a wonderful Lent. Let's pray for each other. What else? I am so hungry. It's unbelievable. I don't really fast. I kind of have a condition, but whatever. I'm not going to get into that. And it's like I feel lightheaded, and I feel like I could eat a whole pig's head. All right, guys, take care. Peace.